Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Wednesday, February 15, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Philadelphia 76ers. The ability to stop your opponent from making three-point shots, and there is a massive difference as Philadelphia is second in the NBA with a 34.4 opposing three-point percentage, while Cleveland is 20th with a 36.4 three-point percentage against so far. There is also a pretty sizable gap with the free throw percentage, as a team with the Cavs being 19th in basketball with a 77.7 percentage from the charity stripe, while the Sixers are second in the sport with an 82.8 free throw percentage. Go with the Philadelphia 76ers to cover the spread in this matchup against a formidable opponent. Our team pick is Philadelphia 76ers minus 2.5 points. These teams have been doing well at not allowing their opponent to get to the free throw line, as the Cavaliers are 5th with 22 free throw attempts against, while the 76ers are 16th with 23.8 free throw attempts against them. Looking at the defenses as of late, they have been limiting scoring opportunities, as Cleveland is allowing 96.2 points in their last 5 games, while Philadelphia is giving up 104 points in their previous 4 games. All in all, go with the under in this game, as these defenses have been doing well this year. Our total pick is under 217 points. Chicago Bulls versus Indiana Pacers. Indiana is not playing very well at the moment, but will take advantage of a short-handed Chicago Bulls side that is likely to play without its leading scorer DeMar DeRozan, who is struggling through a hip injury. Indiana is finally back to full strength and has one of the most dynamic guards in the league in Tyrese Haliburton, who scores an average of 20.0 points per game and hands out an average of 10.1 assists per game to lead the Pacers in both, and is second in the NBA in assists. Chicago has failed to cover the spread in 4 of the last 5. Chicago is also playing without Lonzo Ball and could be even more short-handed in the backcourt without DeRozan, as well as Alex Caruso, who is also questionable for Wednesday. Take Indiana minus 2.5 points. The total has finished under each of Chicago's last 5 games and in 8 of the last 9 games that the Bulls have played on the road. If DeMar DeRozan cannot play, Chicago will be without its leading scorer and will have to find a way to make up for 25-plus points. Indiana has seen the total finish under in 6 of its last 8 games and in 6 of the last 7 games that the Pacers have played head-to-head against Chicago. Take the under 230.5 points. San Antonio Spurs versus Charlotte Hornets. Both Charlotte and San Antonio are trying to get a top pick in this year's draft, which is considered to be a good one. However, the Spurs have been playing terrible basketball as of late and are dealing with some key injuries, which is why I like Charlotte to cover the spread here. The Hornets should be able to take advantage of this Spurs defense, which lost Poeltl at the deadline, which was a key defender for them near the rim. Ball, meanwhile, has shown he can take over games, which I expect to happen here. Both teams have struggled against the spread, but the Spurs are a brutal 10-18 ATS as a road underdog. Take Charlotte to cover here. Neither team has a good defense, which is why I like the over in this matchup. The Spurs are 33-23-2 in hitting the over, which is second best in the NBA while on the road. San Antonio is 16-10-2, while Charlotte is 29-30. However, both the Hornets and Spurs are playing at a pace of 103.6, which is tied for 6th, while San Antonio is 30th in defensive efficiency and Charlotte is 24th. Finally, in the Spurs' last 10 games, the games are averaging 237.5 ppg, while the Hornets' last 10 are averaging 233 ppg. Take the over here. Miami Heat versus Brooklyn Nets. Miami is dealing with some key injuries, while Brooklyn is a new team after the trades of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. which makes this game interesting, but I like the Heat on the money line at minus 120. This season, Miami is 8-7 straight up as a road favorite, while Brooklyn is 3-6 straight up as a home underdog, as when the Nets are supposed to lose at home they do. As well, the Heat's defense can really impact this game, but shutting down Brooklyn's offense. The Nets' defense has also taken a step back since the trades, as the team hasn't fully gelled together yet. I expect the losing skid to continue here. Take Miami to win on the money line. If Miami is going to win, the under will also likely cash in the process. The Heat like low-scoring games by using their shutdown defense to stop Brooklyn's offense. Miami plays at a pace of 99.1, which ranks 28th, while their offensive efficiency ranks 26th, but their defensive efficiency ranks 3rd. The Nets, meanwhile, play at a pace of 100.7, which ranks 20th. As well, Brooklyn is 30-26-1 in hitting the under this season, while at home the Nets are 13-15, while Miami is 32-26 in hitting the under and 16-12 in hitting the under on the road. Finally, in the Heat's last 10 games, the games are averaging just 214.1 ppg. Take the under 219.5 points. Detroit Pistons vs Boston Celtics. The lowly Pistons fell to 15-43 on the year as they lost a narrow 119-118 game against the Toronto Raptors Sunday. Bojan Bogdanovic scored 33 points, but they lack a ton of punch without Cade Cunningham in the lineup for the last 3 months. As a result, they are at the bottom of the conference. With that said, Boston is playing Milwaukee Tuesday in what should be a gritty game, and they have to play again the following night. Surely, they will opt to sit one of their players, so expect Tatum to potentially ride the pine for this one. For that reason, I like Detroit to keep this game close. As long as Jalen Duren is available, Boston will win, but Detroit will keep it close enough to beat the spread here. The Boston Celtics are in action Tuesday night against the Milwaukee Bucks and will be on the second leg of a back-to-back for this game. On Sunday, they outlasted the pesky Memphis Grizzlies 119-109. Derek White scored 23 points and Sam Hauser added 20 points, filling in admirably for the missing Jaylen Brown, who will be out through the All-Star break. As stated above, I expect the Bucks-Celtics game on Tuesday to be a bloodbath, with the Celtics likely sitting one or more of their players for this game against the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Detroit kept it close against Toronto and will keep it close here in a game that will go under. New York Knicks vs Atlanta Hawks. New York improved to 32-27 with a 124-106 blowout win over the Brooklyn Nets Monday evening. Jalen Brunson scored 40 points and Josh Hart added a season-high 27 in his second game with his new team. Trae Young seems to save his best games for the Knicks, bringing back memories of that playoff series 3 years ago when he dominated at Madison Square Garden. This Knicks team features an X-factor, and his name is Jalen Brunson. He dropped 17 in the third quarter last game, breaking open a tie game and opening the door for a blowout. New York has covered the spread in 4 of their last 5 games. Ignore the points and just take them on the money line here. Take the Knicks plus 2.5 points. The Hawks are 9th in pace entering this Eastern Conference showdown with the Knicks. This is an important game for both clubs, as Atlanta is fighting for a playoff spot and the Knicks are looking to eclipse the Brooklyn Nets for the 6th seed, considering they would like to avoid the play-in tournament. The Hawks trailed from start to finish in an embarrassing 144-138 loss to the 16-win Charlotte Hornets. They will bounce back in this game with a much better defensive effort, as they were embarrassed by one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. The total number has gone under in 8 of 12 meetings between these two clubs. Take the under here with confidence. Utah Jazz vs Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis has not looked very sharp in the past few weeks as they limp towards the All-Star weekend. They have lost 4 of their last 6 games, and they are 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. After a quick start to the season, Utah has fallen back to earth and they are currently in 10th place in the West, but they have found ways to cover the spread. The Jazz are 16-12-1 against the spread this year when they play on the road. I believe these two teams will play a close game, and that favors the team mentality of the Jazz. Take Utah to cover. These two teams will keep it close, and that will keep the score very low. Expect a tough, hard-nosed game that emphasizes scoring in the paint. This should keep the total from hitting the under, especially when the total is this high. The under is 7-1 in the Grizzlies' last 8 games following an against the spread loss. The under is 9-3 in the Grizzlies' last 12 overall. Take the under 239.5 points on Wednesday. Houston Rockets vs. Oklahoma City Thunder. These two teams have faced off twice in February already. In the first, Eric Gordon was the leading scorer for the Rockets with 25 points. He is now on the LA Clippers. The Thunder also shot more than 10 percentage points lower than their season average from the floor. In the second game, they dropped 153 points on 57.7 45.7/87.0% shooting splits. Oklahoma City has the third highest net rating, plus 5.8, in 2023, while Houston has the second worst, minus 10.5. As a result, the Thunder are 13-5 ATS in their last 18 games, while the Rockets are 6-14 ATS in their last 20. Looking at their specific matchup history, Oklahoma City is 9-2 ATS in the last 11 games that they've played against Houston at home. They've had some success this season, but the Rockets' luck is going to run out when the Thunder cover -9 and split the season series 2-2. First of all, these two combined for 274 points when they played on February 4th. Houston averages the most turnovers while Oklahoma City forces the third most, which leads to more opportunities for the Thunder to score on the Rockets' porous defense. That starts to get even scarier when you account for the pace of play, where OKC ranks third in the league, giving them even more possessions, evidenced by the 186 combined field goal attempts in their last game against each other. Finally, Houston has seen the over hit in 5 of their last 6 games, while the Thunder have had the total go over in 4 of their last 5. The young Rockets don't know how to play defense properly yet, and Oklahoma City needs this win in a super competitive Western Conference playoff race. They're going to light it up at home. Our total pick is over 235.5 points. Dallas Mavericks vs. Denver Nuggets. Head-to-head this season, it's the Mavericks with the advantage over the first 3 games, going 2-1 ATS and straight up. The last time they met was back on December 6th, with Dallas escaping Denver with a 1-point victory. Things have certainly changed on both sides since then. Kyrie's arrival in Dallas changes the dynamic of that team incredibly, and though everything does run through Luka, Irving provides some relief by drawing plenty of pressure. I do believe that this dynamic duo is just starting to get the ball rolling, and that this game may be the one when they truly break out together. The Mavs have averaged nearly 8 points more per game than their season average in their last 5 games, and they have shot nearly 3% better overall. Those are very big numbers for this time of year, and they seem to be a certain way offensively now, and that is hungry. Dallas is 5-1 ATS in the last 6 meetings and 5-2 ATS in their last 7 games, as well as their last 7 road games. Take the Mavericks plus 8 points. In the 3 prior matchups this season, these two teams averaged a total of 217.3 points per game, yet only one of those games went over. In the last 5 games, these teams have a combined 236.8 points per game. They are both shooting extremely well right now, and let's not bury the lead here, but we have some marquee names in this one ready to try and outdo the other. The Mavericks are one of only 3 teams in the NBA who averaged more than 43-point attempts per game, 40.6, and now with Kyrie distributing the rock, they should get even better looks, equaling more points for us. The Mavs have scored 122 or more in each of their last 3 games, and the Nuggets have scored 128 or more points in 4 of their last 6 games, including 146 versus Minnesota. The over is 4-0 in Denver's last 4 home games and 5-1 in the Mavericks' last 6 games. In the head-to-head, the over is 2-1 in the last 3 and 3-2 over the last 5 matchups. Take the over 226.5 points. New Orleans Pelicans vs. Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have been without LeBron for 3 straight games, and it has showed in terms of offensive efficiency. That being said, Los Angeles has continued to work the ball inside very well, and Anthony Davis has been playing very good of late. The New Orleans defense has defended the perimeter well, but that is not a key area of offensive success for LA, who often settles for shots inside the arc, where they rank 10th in the league, and the Pelicans' defense is bottom 5. New Orleans has been keen on forcing turnovers and should get some transition baskets here, but their offense is also poor with the ball, which will allow the Lakers to capitalize in transition on a more frequent basis. Take the Lakers at home as a small favorite. Los Angeles -2 points. These teams squared off less than 2 weeks ago, and the game turned into a high-scoring affair rather quickly as the first half saw over 130 points combined. This time should be no different as each team feasted down low and were able to scoring in transition often. Los Angeles plays at one of the fastest tempos in the league, and the Pelicans have the tendency to play faster on the road. Both of these teams have been scoring over the league average in their last 5 games, and New Orleans has been allowing over 120 per contest in that stretch. The play is the over. Over 234.5 points.